Someone gifted it to me, but I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why is this happening? I have a bit of a problem. Hi, I'm Sam Ford. I've been tattooing for about 8 years. I own Love Struck Tattoo in Annapolis, Maryland. I never did. I didn't want to own. People were like, oh, you don't want to open up your own shop, you know, you have the clientele to, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready. Because I had only been tattooing, I think at that point it was like around 5 years. It was like, I haven't been tattooing long enough to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. But I was also kind of missing out on spending time with my family because I was commuting back and forth to Baltimore, which isn't a long drive, but if you've done the 45 minutes to Hamden, then you understand what I mean. Someone put the bug in my ear, and so I started looking around and I found this place, and it was pretty reasonable price, especially right after COVID. And I was like, I think I could do that. So yeah, I never really wanted to, but I did. Kind of opened up originally expecting to be like a private studio thing, and maybe I'll bring 1 or 2 other people in. Wanted to have guest artists here, also a space that I could have my friends. Being from Connecticut and just kind of knowing people all over, I wanted to have a space that people could come visit too. I never really opened with the expectation of having what we have now here. I had one artist come with us. She was here, and then Jamelyn, who is our PMU artist. They were like the original people that were here with me. From there, it kind of just grew, and having Instagram friends and then being like, oh, are you looking for anybody? And I was like, well, I mean, I do have the space. So me saying I do have the space turned into now there being 11 people here, so. I usually tell people to come to a guest spot first to kind of see if like we vibe. Personally, I don't think that you really know anybody until you've known them for like 3 to 6 months. It's really hard to tell just from a guest spot if somebody's gonna work or not. But we have a really good group of people here. Everybody gets along really well. We operate as a private studio, so everyone's their own business. It's not like everybody's here all the time. It's kind of like passing through. A lot of times everyone will be here, sometimes 2 people will be here. Everybody kind of mingles really well. A lot of that does have to do with the fact that we're not on top of each other all the time. So I do booth rental. I'm not really secretive about that. I provide all disposables and gloves, some ointments, especially stuff that if I have a guest artist, what they would need. Stencil paper. We have a stencil menace here. When first starting out, I had a lot of toolboxes and massage tables, chairs, lights, stuff like that. So pretty much everything besides needles, ink, and machines and tubes. And then everybody handles their own business. So everyone does their own booking. Everyone handles their own Instagram. Patience to let go. I try to make sure that everybody kind of stays on the same page because you're working under the Love Struck name, which is associated with me. So I try to emphasize, again, customer service and hope everybody provides the same client experience that I try to provide, because I consider this like my second home. The hardest thing for me is just managing personalities. Sometimes you feel like you're herding cats. Most of the time, you know, everybody's awesome and does everything great. Having different people in here all the time and working with different people all the time is really hard, especially when you kind of want to be a control freak about things sometimes. When anybody asks me that, I just say make sure you have the clientele to sustain it. Are you able to make rent and all of your supplies every month? You can't just like rent a shop and get out of a lease. It doesn't work that way. If you don't make money that month, then you can't pay for your bills, you can't pay for your rent, and they're gonna come after you, or you know what I mean. Right after COVID, I think a lot of people were very, very busy. People saw an uptick in business. A lot of people had apprenticeships and were just starting, and they're like, oh my God, this is wonderful. It's so busy here everywhere. Everyone has clientele, this, that, and the other thing. And I think this year everyone's kind of experiencing a little bit of a lull and a slowdown in the business. People who maybe thought about opening up a private studio, or maybe are not necessarily thinking about it now just because they have had a slowdown in business. So I just tell people to make sure you have that like client base in order to open. If everybody here left, I would still be left to pay rent. So I have to make sure I can do that. There's people who you work well with and there's people who you don't work well with. It's just like any other industry when it comes to that. Your mental health is gonna suffer if you're not feeling comfortable in your own space. As an owner of a shop, you should be selective about who you let into your space. I definitely have a different opinion. I struggle with it from time to time and will probably every 3 months be like, I'm done, I'm gonna move to an island and go sit on the beach and never tattoo again. Everybody kind of experiences that because it is very frustrating, but at the same time, it's very rewarding. I think I'm a little bit more positive about it, but it depends on what time of the month you're asking me. I don't know if that answered the question or not, but. Cool, yeah. It's been a ride.